Hello there, welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. It's always a pleasure to come your way. Well, the new era is about to begin. Ruben Amorim, the way the Portuguese will mention it, Ruben Amorim. I'm trying to sound a bit Portuguese. Well, I work with Portuguese, so I've got a bit of it. Well, he's starting work officially very, very soon. He arrived in Manchester on Monday, has been going through the formalities, trying to get to know people within the club. Some footages came the very first day that he dropped with his coaching staff and every other thing. Well, he's granted his first interview, and it is the reason why we are here. We are coming to dissect and then break it apart to know exactly what he was saying, whether he came to run us or he came to do the job. Well, we'll be breaking it down. My name is Kwame. I'm here with Kwame and Chubuesi, as usual. We'll be getting into it. Just before we started the recording, the coaching staff for Ruben Amorim have also been confirmed. We'll be breaking them down to you. We'll be telling you who is who and what exactly they will be doing and what role they will be playing, and who within the United coaching staff remained and will be working with Ruben Amorim. Let's make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll introduce you to Kwame, and then we'll set the ball rolling here at United and Everything Football. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. I'm here with Kwame. Kwame, great to have you back on the podcast. How was your week?
It's been a good week.
It's been a good week.
It's been a good week. It's been on the United front. It's been an exciting week, but then let's just say the general consensus is that of cautious optimism. I said that on Twitter. Cautiously. See, the thing is, I have never seen a fan base be so unsure of what the future actually holds. Because he's not a man whom we had high on our agenda in terms of the coaches who could take over.
Yeah.
But most fans aren't against his appointment either.
Yeah.
So it's like we're just hoping that things are a bit different this time. It's cautious optimism all around. That's the general feeling.
Well, that's it. I mean, we've said here many times, you can draw the parallels between him and then Erik Ten Hag when they were coming. I mean, the works that they were doing with clubs, Ajax were not in a good place. Ten Hag picked them, won trophies with them consecutively. Amorim, young coach, I mean, takes over Sporting, does something amazing with them. These are special people, or these were special people when they were coming into the club. Amorim is also very special coming into Manchester United. But maybe he's coming within a different context. And it's part of the things we'll be discussing on here, on our podcast today. Let me quickly run you through the people that will be working with Ruben Amorim as part of the new coaching setup. Well, as you can see from the projected picture, that is the squad. That's him and the squad that they've been working with at Sporting. But it's just been confirmed that about 5 of them, including a 6th person who will also be joining as a video analyst. But let me run you through who would be the right-hand man or the first assistant coach for Ruben Amorim. His name is Carlos Fernandes. Now, Fernandes is said to be the right-hand man, a job that he has occupied at Sporting. The 29-year-old has forged a close relationship with our new head coach, having also been his staff at previous clubs, Braga and then Casa Pia. So if you are looking for someone who has been through it all with Ruben Amorim, that's his name. He's a 29-year-old. Amorim has been coaching for 6 years, so meaning he joined Amorim at the age around 24, if my math is correct, or 24, yes, if my math is correct. So that's him. Now, joining him again is Jorge Vital. That's the first team goalkeepers coach. Now, prior to starting work together at Sporting in 2020, Jorge and then Ruben were at Braga, colleagues during the latter time as a player and a coach at the club. Now, Vital come in with come in to lead our men's goalkeeping coaching staff, working closely with assistant Molson. Now, Craig Molson is Man United club goalkeepers coach. He will be assisting Jorge Vital, training our goalkeepers and making sure that they get things going for us. Now, the other assistant coach is Adelio Candido. Now, he is also awaiting his visa because his work permit has not completely been sorted yet, but he's already in England. Now, who is he? Just like Fernandez, he's also one of the people that have been with Ruben Amorim from his days at Casapia. He's also a 28-year-old and also a very, very trusted confidant of Ruben Amorim. Now, let's get to another of the coaches. That's Emmanuel Ferro. Now, Ferro worked at Benfica between 2006 and 2009, during which Amorim was a football player at Sporting Lisbon, at the Lisbon club. Now, the pair reunited in the dugout at Sporting, where Emmanuel spent 9 years in total before coming to Manchester United. So Ferro is amongst the coaching staff, not the goalkeeping coaching staff, but among the coaching staff, he's the one who is the oldest. He's in his 40s, slightly older than Ruben Amorim. Also, someone Amorim has known very, very, very well. And then comes Paulo Barrera. Now, Barrera is a physical performance coach. Now, he's also returning. He's had some stint in England, already worked with clubs like Liverpool and Arsenal. He's a very special guy. He's one who is going to help in terms of building the fitness of the coaches. He did his PhD thesis.
Of the players.
Yes, of the players, sorry. He did his PhD thesis on how to deal with hamstring injuries. So we are hoping that perhaps when he comes in, things get better with the players. We don't get all those muscle hamstring injuries. He's able to build the physical fitness of the players when he comes in. So, Kwame, that's the coaching setup. Let me pick your initial thought on that. What do you make of it? Already, there's Darren Fletcher and then Judson, who came in as on the back of our technical director Jason Wilcox, who came in as the set piece coach, already in the setup along with Craig Molson. So we already have 3 people in there, with 5 people adding up, making 8. Awaiting the the video analyst whose work or whose approval is subject to him getting his visa approved by the UK government. Kwame, your thoughts?
The job is huge. United is huge. It's a different ball game altogether, but it does help having people that you are familiar with surrounding you, helping you, your closest confidants around you to help you get around this job. Because, like I said, it's tough. It's tough. He's brought in as many as 5 or 6 people. That's like the club saying, we are giving you everything that you need to possibly succeed. From your end, what do you want? And this is what you want now. This is what you're going to get. Going forward, if you deserve more, we would give you more. The club is going full in and backing him. It's the club's own choice. The club's own decision now. When I say the club, I mean those responsible for the sporting decisions at the football club. This is their main man. This is their actual appointment. This is not a carry forward from a previous era. Everybody's gone now. They've cleared. Ruben Amorim is gone. Everybody else is gone. But for a couple of the coaches that you mentioned, including Darren Fletcher, whom I value very, very highly, everybody in there now is new. It's a whole new project. It feels like there's a new start, the dawn of a new era. Let's just hope that everything works out.
We'll see. But some very interesting concerns. I mean, some of the coaches, you know the United story. Remember when Kieran McKenna was there and the players were calling him, some people were saying he was a PE teacher and all of that. It's a very, very interesting... Allegations. Sorry, allegations. Let me put it that way. I was a PE teacher and all of that. And what do you make of it? Young coaches.
Kwame, the key is winning.
The key is winning.
When you're winning, these stories people don't create stories. The tabloids don't create stories. Players don't create stories. Agents don't create stories. It's when the whole situation comes down to we are not winning, it's toxic. Players are not happy. Journalists are trying to feed. Fans are agitated.
Dressing room sources.
What's his name? Samolakis. He will tell you dressing room sources. claims that Jesus Christ. So age is just a number. It's about being able to do the job.
Yeah.
His age, he's a 39-year-old coach, Amorim,
Yeah.
and his immediate assistant is 29 years old, 10 years younger than him.
Yeah.
It gives me this Jose Mourinho, Rui Faria vibes,
Yeah.
kind of. You know, when Jose Mourinho started out, like from the Porto days, he was young, and then he had a very, very young assistant coach whom he carried everywhere.
Yeah.
It's about trust. If you trust someone, and clearly they seem to trust each other, and it's worked. Their partnership has worked all the way from Casapia all through to Sporting Lisbon, and they hope to bring it to Manchester United. Don't look at this person's age. Never look at anybody's age. It's just about the expertise. Can he do the job? Does he have the experience? Does he have the knowledge? Does he have the know-how? The CV to back him up? He does have the CV to back him up.
Yeah.
So he's 29. What's 29?
Yeah.
Just come and do the job.
Just come and do the job. I mean, is that part of the world that we make a whole lot of fuss about age and that? It's all about competence at the end of the day. If the person is doing
someone can be young and even have more experience than someone who is 50.
Of course. It's very, very important that we look at it from that perspective. Now let's get to the interview. Everyone was eagerly awaiting the first interview of Ruben Amorim, especially from the club, especially from the fans, and also every other person. The first interview is granted, as usual, will be to the club media. I'm told there will be an unveiling where the media would have to ask him the questions. And that's where I'm very much interested in, because club media would be a lot more biased in terms of the kind of questions that they ask, because he has to project the club in a certain light. But he made some very interesting remarks. And I mean, one of the first questions that he asked him, and this is one of the responses that he gave, and we are projecting, they say that all the people are hungry for success, and this is the place I want to be. Also, because of that, you can be part of something special, not just one more. And that is something that I really like. He says he feels that he wants to be part of something special. This is the club that he wanted. He was the first choice. Yeah, he knows that, he accepts that, and that he wants to be part of the group of people already in the club who wants to build something special. He wants to be part of the story. What do you make of this quote?
It's awesome. It's one of the key points I took out of the whole interview.
Yeah.
I actually made 5 key points from the interview.
Yeah.
I've made my own notes.
Okay.
5 key points.
Then you know what?
Of which what you just said is 1.
Okay, so that's fair. So this is what we are going to do. After we've gone through this, you can add your 4 key points, and then we can go through some of the key points I've also captured. Let's do it that way.
All right. So he seemed to encapsulate the fact that it's a new project, right? It's almost like I say, forget about everything that just happened over the past 6 months of Ineos's reign at Manchester United, 6 months to, let's say, 8 months. This is we are all together now. From the owner of whom he said I've spoken to Omar Barada, to Wilcox, to Ashworth, to everybody. He actually referred to them by their first names, which was kind of, it tells you something. It's a people's first.
Yeah.
And that he believes that he's the first choice. He was made known that he's the first choice. They didn't look elsewhere. He had already stated that if he hadn't accepted the job now, United were going to move on. So it was a now or never kind of decision. But this is the club that he wanted to be at, even from the very beginning. And he's had the opportunity, and he's going to make the most of it.
Yeah.
I would expect that from any United manager. That's the first thing I'll say. It's like, that's standard. You would say that, but it's the way he says it. That comes to my one of my points. He exudes charisma.
Yeah.
I'm saying this in comparison to Erik ten Hag, because we always have to make that comparison.
Yeah.
Because we want to know what is different.
It's fair. I mean, it's fair. You can't run away from that.
Erik ten Hag's problem right from the very off was communication. It's clear he was struggling with communication. And a large part of it had to do with a struggle with the mastery of the English language. It wasn't coming out as it should be. It wasn't spontaneous. That's the word. There were pauses. He had to think about what he was saying, And some of the things may have even been missed in translation, for all you know. But what I see from Ruben Amorim is somebody who has a mastery of the language. Of course, there's the accents. You can't get rid of the accents. But there is a clarity about what he's saying. He understands what he's saying clearly, and it comes out exactly how I think he thinks he's saying it.
Exactly. This is trivia. Have you noticed how the Portuguese are able to freely speak the language, the English language? I mean, after they've learned it. You listen to Bruno speak, you listen to Dalot speak, you listen to Ronaldo and all of, and you realize they kind of have a
slightly better compared to
people, other people with, I don't know. It's just by the
way. Having stayed in Europe for quite a while, I would say there's a reason to it. It depends on which part of the country that you are. You know, if you are someone who is from the mainland cities, from Lisbon, for example, you have access to good education, a lot of multicultural people. Those cities are usually multicultural with people from all over the world living in those countries. Portuguese can't be your only language. You would tend to learn Spanish, so many different languages. But if you come from Madeira, like how Ronaldo comes from Madeira, you can tell even as much as he's learned English, it's not as clear and precise as that of Bruno Fernandes or Amorim in this case, or Dalot. You always have to trace it back to where the person is coming from. It's like our country. Someone coming from, I don't want to sound trivial, but someone coming from, it may not sound like someone in the South. Let me just put it that way.
Exactly. I mean, even the English,
there's a difference.
There are tonation differences and all of that.
Exactly. So that is a huge reason for that. If you read the background of Erik ten Hag, he doesn't come from a mainland city. He comes from the outskirts, although his family is rich and all that. You can tell that English language was something he learned later. It wasn't something he learned at a younger age, as compared to clearly Amorim. You get what I'm trying to say? So the clarity in communication is a huge plus. The charisma that it comes with is also a huge plus. There's a huge smile on his face. It looks great for now, and I'm hoping that it continues that way, because this job, that smile can turn into tears. We don't want to do Mongen. So we from the start, we go like, the smiles are great, and let's just hope the smiles are still there. But he spoke about a couple more points, which drew my attention, because it's been a subject of debate between us fans. You know, sometimes we want to back the manager, and we go like, the manager needs time to be able to establish the way he wants to play, to be able to get results. It's a process. We always come back to that word. It's a process. But you sometimes, as a fan, stick to these words, and then you realize that this thing is actually going nowhere. We've gone with that tangent, especially not with Jose, because I feel like we're not even fair to Jose Mourinho. I'd always say that we're never fair, because right from the jump, I think he started getting results.
He's an instant guy.
He's an instant guy. He was all about results. And fortunately for us, Amorim seems to take to him than any other coach. And if you listen to how he spoke concerning his expectations for the club from the jump, he said, just like Jose would say, that he wants to establish an identity immediately. We are going to see an idea from day one. When you see United play, you are going to see a certain idea, a concept. It may not be perfect, but it is there. You can see it with your own eyes. We are not going to go like, we don't know United's style of play. We have been watching this team for a while and we don't know. He knows this. I think that was one of the knockdowns and reasons for sacking Erik ten Hag. So if they're coming to you for a change, they will put it to you that the reason why we want you is because your history states that you are able to instantly impact things in terms of a certain style of play and a certain identity. So he says he wants to establish that immediately, but identity doesn't necessarily mean, this is a very beautiful reference for him, that it's going to be a 3-4-3, a 4-3-3. Yes. So don't over focus on that. Of course, there will be a formation. Of course, everybody knows his formation is a
every coach has a formation.
But identity isn't just a tactical reference. It's on paper, we are playing a 3-4-3. But the execution of the 3-4-3, players must play with energy, with passion. Players must run. Players must play like a team, play for each other.
Yeah.
That is the identity. When you watch Manchester United, I think what he's trying to say is he wants to see a team that is fighting for each other on a football pitch, just as he would fight for them.
Mm.
He made that reference to
Yeah.
saying that he would always fight for his players. That's one of my points as well. He would always fight, he would always defend his players.
Yeah.
I think this man creates this environment of us against the world.
Yeah.
Right? Where we are one family, we are in this together, puts an arm around these players, makes them feel like I am in this with you. And I'm a reflection of what I want us to be. I was hardworking. I played every single position. You can't tell me when I tell you to go and play as a wing back, you wouldn't play, because in my time, I played every single position on a football pitch except goalkeeper and striker. So if I tell you to go and play wing back, you're playing wing back. Just as we've seen at Sporting, he used unconventional methods with certain players when it came to positions, right? Yeah. So he's just sending this message that be a team player. Whether you're on the bench, whether you're on the football pitch, whether I tell you to play there, play there. Be on the football pitch, execute your role perfectly, be a team player. Yeah. That is the identity that he wants to establish. But he just didn't say that, which comes to my third point. He spoke about instant results. Another knockdown or a reason why we sacked the former manager was because we're having a very poor run of results. Yeah. We're not getting the results that we needed. He's not asking for time to be able to establish the identity and get results. He's saying it's results that will buy the time.
Exactly.
We made this reference over here, even on this spot, several times, that the only way you can actually buy time to be able to perfect whatever you're doing is to win football matches. And it is clear, it's been pointed out to him. He understands it. He is for it because he is it. At Sporting, at Braga, at Casapia, he got results instantly. Teams that were not winning for long spells, whenever he took over, they're winning 11 games in 14, 12 games in 12, that kind of thing. It's just him, instant impact. He understands it, that for people to buy into whatever philosophy that he has to win football games. And this club needs to start winning football games. Yeah. It makes me happy because it makes me, we've been talking about the fact that we sacked Erik ten Hag early enough. We have 71, I've done the math. We have 71% of the season left. Yeah. I'm talking about even just the Premier League. I'm not talking about cup competitions because we are still in every cup competition that we started. Ruud van Nistelrooy did a good job by qualifying for the next round of the League Cup. We are in it. Yeah. We haven't started the FA Cup yet. We are still in Europe. He also did as good by winning our first European game. He puts us in a decent position at the table. We have easy games in the Europa League to play. We can easily qualify from the group. The season is young. 71% of the season is a lot to make up. You cannot say because we're not getting results for 11 Premier League games, we're only 4 points off a top 4 spot. Yep. He has no excuse for not giving it the right good goal to qualify us for the Champions League via a league position. He has no excuse for not winning our trophies. And he's actually accepting that right from the day one. I love that. I absolutely love that he knows he has to get results now. It's clear. They've pointed out to him, it's a now. It's not WWBA. It's a now project. Yeah. We are starting right from the very off. We have targets, of which one of our targets is, if we are going to be league champions, it's probably not going to be this year. There's rumor of Project 150, probably in 2028. That's when they expect us to win the league title, blah, blah, blah. But there are immediate targets now, of which one is qualified for the Champions League and winning trophies just as the previous manager won trophies. You can't say, we're not going to go, one of them is better than the other. We've always been like that because of our mediocrity. We argue over mediocre stuff because when you win the league and you place A, then people go like, oh, the trophies are fine. When you get top 4, you don't win the trophy, they'll go like, yeah, Champions League. At Manchester United, we used to do both. We didn't even know what was top 4 because top 4 was automatic. We're competing for league titles and we are winning trophies. If you don't win the league, you should win another trophy, basically. But now it's become either or. It shouldn't be either or for us both now. It should be. It should be both. We should be competing for Champions League spots on a regular. It should be our bare minimum. At the same time, we should be winning trophies. Let's not be an Arsenal. Yeah. Because it's almost like as if we are morphing into an Arsenal. Let's not be an Arsenal.
Yeah.
United wins trophies. United competes for league titles. If you don't win a league title, at least you should qualify for the Champions League. It's both, not either or.
Yeah.
It's both. So that was also another great thing to hear from him. And then the point you've spoken about Walcox and all that already, their team and everything. But his message to the fans, it was quite telling that he wanted to be here, right? And he's here now, right? And he's going to win. He's going to defend his players. We are all going to be in this thing together. And he recognizes Manchester United as the star of English football.
Yeah.
It's the fact.
It is the engine. It is the engine.
The engine. Yeah. I always compare Manchester United to the Dallas Cowboys. If you follow American football, or if you follow basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers, they can be bad. They can be poor. They can be all that. But every single time when you turn on your TV, they're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. They dedicate almost the entire whole day show to them. And other fans are pissed off. And
that's how big. That's how big they are.
Yes, some franchises are what makes the league. You know, without them, the league isn't all that. We have been terrible. We have been awful. But the tabloids need us. Everybody needs us, right? Whether we are in good times or bad times, they need to feed. But as fans, we are tired of the negativity and the toxicity and all the bad things around the club. We would rather want them to feed on us in a positive limelight. And hopefully, Amorim's words, in summary, his words would come to fruition. We would see light at the end of the tunnel again. United will be successful. The buck will finally stop with Amorim. We've been changing managers, I think 6 permanent managers over the past 11 years. That is a huge turnover with relative success or no success at all. We hope that the buck actually stops it. Ruben Amorim.
All right. So you virtually captured everything that I was going to post as a quote. So that's the connection we have with the work that we do. Let me be honest. We didn't discuss, normally we pre-plan our podcast and everything. We didn't even discuss the quotes. But coincidentally, the quotes that
we think alike. We think the same.
It's just exactly what I said. But there is just one about the young players that I want to, because it's become a big debate about young players, where he said that, I don't want to say we need time because we are a young team. They are prepared to cope with the demands of playing for Manchester United. They should be, because they are here. We have to start without fear, without thinking they are not used to playing like this. That is not my mind. They will start on the first day with our idea, no matter what. That's the goal. So says the idea that this is a young person and all of that. And you've seen throughout his career. He's had a very short career. That's 4 years in coaching. And you look at the players that he's promoted as Sporting, from Kuenda, who we are seeing, a 17-year-old Kuenda who is playing at the very highest level in the Champions League. Ignacio was promoted from the Sporting youth setup, and he's now 23, but he's been playing throughout his time as coach at Sporting and all of that. So he's saying that for the young players, there's nothing like I am a young player. I mean, if, like we always say, if you are young enough, you are good enough to be able to. But that's the point that he's making. Let's make a quick one on that. We have just about 5 minutes to go. Your thoughts on that, Kwame?
You've summed it all up. One thing we don't want to do as fans is make excuses for anybody. I'm not making any excuse for any coach. I'm not making any excuse for any player. You're at Manchester United. You have a duty to perform. You have to perform. We have become used to exceptionally poor standards. It's about time that we raised our own expectations as fans for the team. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't look at. We've seen younger teams in other teams in Europe do wonders in the Champions League, win league titles in other countries. What stops Manchester United's team from actually performing? If you're being honest, Arsenal's team is even younger than ours. Yet they are at the top right now, competing for the title. I bet this season they've been poor. Over the last couple of seasons, they've had a young team that has been performing, well coached. but there's a coach of
I mean,
a
the
similar
Barca,
age
the Barca team we
profile.
are seeing now has a lot of young players.
Very young team, yeah. So it's not about the age anymore. If somebody must have seen quality in you to bring you to Manchester United, not all
Absolutely.
signings are supposed to work.
Yeah.
Not all signings are supposed to work. That's a fact. So some may be misses. But when they bring you to this club, they must have seen something in you to have brought you to this club.
Yeah.
It is your duty to try and manifest that on the football pitch week in, week out.
Yeah.
The inconsistencies is not acceptable anymore. If some players don't cut it under Amorim, this club should not hang on to them for any reason. As soon as possible, let them go and then bring in players who are cut in the same mode as the coach, who can actually deliver on the football pitch. I feel like some players have just 6 months under him to save their Manchester United careers. I'm sure we'll get into that probably in the next episode when we are doing our tactical breakdowns and all of that.
For all those who don't know, we are going to have a special feature next week where we'll do a very solid tactical breakdown. You will love the video where we bring it to you. So please stay tuned onto this podcast, and remember to subscribe and put your notification bells on if you've already subscribed, where we do a very good breakdown of how Ruben Amorim sets his team up. I'm sure you've probably watched some from other places, but this is a special feature from us. So please look forward to it as we present that to you in the course of next week before or ahead of the game against Ipswich. So this is my general thoughts on the interview. I think, like we say in our local language, Kasayem Frama. What is left to show working?
Show working.
Talk is air. To it, talk is air. So come and show working. But I mean, we picked some things, some very positives from that. Kwame has summarized or talked a lot about some of the things that he discussed in that press conference. I believe that one key thing that stands out for me, it's not just about tactics. I mean, every coach has a tactic, every coach has an idea they want to execute. But as a person who is much more interested in team building, relating with players, the way he communicates, the way he speaks, how he's able to, I mean, put together a team. He was asked one thing, that what do you want to see about Ruben Amorim's team? He says he wants to see a team. Team is everything. And that's how you are able to win. If we are a team, we are able to execute things because we are one. We are not divided. A team is one. Team is not two, right? So his ability to galvanize and bring everybody together around a certain idea. And like Kwame said, the idea is not just tactics. The idea is something you see, a character, a personality, something you see when you watch something. So if we say United and everything football, there's an identity. When you watch, you know what to expect. That is why you are with us. That is what he is preaching, right? When you come to United and everything football, our identity is simple. We are not here to make any pub argument. We are here to make very good argument. We are here to make very good points. We are here to give you good content about Manchester United. Not one that divides the fan base, or one that brings everybody together so you could enjoy very good content. That is what he's talking about, an identity. When you watch us, that's what you see. What he wants, when you see a Ruben Amorim team, that's what he wants you to see. And we are all eager to wait. He says, when you see, you either like it or not, but you see an idea.
You see
That's what we want to see. So we want to see a team that
it's an example of that is not everybody likes watching what City plays, but that's the identity.
That's the identity.
They keep the ball, they frustrate the hell out of you, and they press the hell out of you. When you see Liverpool play, the one word that stands out is aggression. Forget about all the tactics, it's aggression. You have
to see something, right? So that's basically that. So we want to see an identity, we want to see an idea, and that's what Ruben Amorim has promised. We are going to see a team out there playing and fighting for each other before the 3-4-3 and other things come into play. It's very, very important that we get that. All right. So that's my just my 2 minutes thoughts on exactly what Ruben Amorim said. So next week, or in the course of the week, we'll be bringing you the tactical breakdown of Ruben Amorim and what to expect. My name is Kwame. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave the comment, and give us 100 likes at least on this video. We'll be very much grateful for that. Kwame, great having you on the podcast as usual. It's been great being on this show.
Great to be here.
All right, so we'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye-bye.